Hey, what's up, everybody? Before we kick off the show today with Rockefeller's Radio, I want to bring your attention to something very, very, very important. And you already know what it is. Rocksboys.com. Now, you know there's a special that's been going on, right? $14.97. I don't know how long this special is going to last, but this is the perfect time to take advantage of it. Started off at earlier this year, all right, to kick off the new year. $14.97. Know you guys would appreciate it, right? All the sexy hot boys, all the hot new content coming your way. Be sure to check it out, rocksboys.com. Click the join button, right? Put in your credit card information, totally safe. Don't worry about it. I got you covered. $14.97 to get you locked in permanently. But you got to remember, don't let your membership expire, because if you do and the price changes, well, at that point, you're just shit out of luck. Join rocksboys.com today, $14.97. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Rockefeller's Radio. We're on season 4, episode number 15. Yeah, episode 15. I had to look back up on the screen.
I'm like, yeah,
you're stuck. That one. No, it's episode number 15, but this is our open mic night tonight. So this is open mic number 6. So episode 15, open number 6. As y'all know, when we do open mic, it's just random conversation. You know, we just go back and forth with each other, talk about whatever, anything that y'all want to post up on Instagram Live that are tuning in. Y'all want us to talk about, ask us questions. We're here to answer them and all that good shit. Again, welcome y'all. Appreciate y'all for joining us and tuning in. I'm here with my co-host today, Mr. Dante Harris.
Oh, no little fancy. Just come sucking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You know, I was gonna do that. I was gonna do it. And I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck with her today because
we're down one person.
It's just us, you know. Miss Monet is unfortunately not able to join us because she's busy.
I'm going on protest, goddamn. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting out the whole goddamn podcast. Stand in solidarity with me. People.
Yeah, he made that happen because I was coming down on him, so we're down one host.
Not because of me.
I'm like, where the fuck is Naya? But no, she's busy, so she's not gonna be with us this evening. The next time that we do it, she probably will be able to join us. You know, she had a lot of meetings that she had to take care of today, and I've been talking to a few people, actually a couple of former Rocks Boys models that are going to join on the show, and the current Rocks Boys models going to join the show. So we'll have something to do and get some more special guests. And then Mr. Dante, you mentioned that it was somebody that you said that probably was interested in coming on the show.
Yes. The creator of a popular competition. Sorry. The creator of a popular competition that's going on currently in the Boys Town neighborhood at a local club in the Boys Town neighborhood has agreed to come on the show. I'm not going to say any names right now.
Because you know I was going to ask.
Oh, yeah. We're going to keep it a secret. That's a surprise.
Okay. Definitely love it. I love surprises. And no, one thing I was thinking about, another thing I was thinking about doing is because, you know, we like to do our little Mad Libs.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel kind of bad doing it without Naya.
She's like our, what's her name?
Vanna White,
yeah.
What you call it? Vienna White.
You know, I had a coworker whose name was Vina. So
thank you, Jamal.
That's what's throwing me out.
What was her name?
Vina.
Yeah,
spelled like Vanna, but she pronounced it Vina.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, one E.
I'm not saying this I'm not saying this to be discriminatory.
Yeah, she's black.
I love to meet her parents. You motherfuckers must have been high when that child was coming out.
They were like, Vanna, but we're going to spell it with one E. Then she got older. She was like, fuck all that shit. It's Vina, goddamn.
So she changed it?
I don't know. I'm talking shit.
Oh, okay. So you just making shit up at this point. Okay. Leave it to Dante. So what's been up, man? How you been? What's been going on?
Oh, shit. I'm stressed. I'm so good.
What?
Stressed.
Well, good thing I made that cocktail for you.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, this is my first drink that I've had in quite a while.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you blaming when you come on the show is that that's
No,
the
I'm not
only time
blaming
you
you.
drink?
I am thanking you.
Oh, okay. Because I do know that every time we when we do our show, we always have cocktail sets the mood and gets us comfortable.
I
So.
lied. I was drinking on Friday.
Huh.
I just thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm a social drinker.
Maybe I should go back to the beginning of the show where I reintroduce you and give you your proper introduction.
No, that's okay.
You just try me right now. It's just like, what the fuck? Okay.
I want to shout out Reggie Music. Thank you for joining us, Reggie Music.
Oh, what's up, Reggie? I can't. You know what I don't like about Instagram is that like when you try to tap on the person's profile,
Oh, I won't let you go.
it won't let you go. I mean, not judging nobody, but I just like to see what people look like when you click on it. It's just because for those that are listening, when we do the show, we always broadcast live on Instagram. So I like to how you like to put a face with a comment.
Oh.
Instead put a face with a voice, but a face with a comment.
I don't know if it lets you do this because you're hosting, but when you click up here on the participants,
the little eye thing. I see it that
and then
way.
click their picture.
Oh,
Does that work for you?
it does not.
Oh,
I can see it a little bit better though.
okay.
But yeah, thanks, appreciate it. We got also Mr. Jamal Richardson joined us again. Again, he was one of our winners of the free Rocks Boy subscription. We tend to do when we do the Mad Libs a little bit of motivation.
It looks like Jamal wants a hat.
Oh, he did say like my hat. Well, thank you. This is one of many. I have different colors and stuff like that. You know what I also thought about doing?
Raffling off hats.
Well, yeah, thanks. I can do that too.
Oh,
But always trying to find shit for me to do. It's like first with a Coleman, you pass the buck over to me handling all the fucking fundraisers, and then like, yeah, raffles for your hats. I'm like, what? Yeah, sure, we can do that, Dante.
okay.
Why not? But actually, I was thinking I was talking to one of my homeboys. I said I'm gonna have to get some. Sorry, y'all. Let me turn it off. I want to get some Rockefeller's radio shirts made.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
I
dope.
think that'd be dope. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to do that. And even just not just wearing when you're on the show, but just like out in general, because just doing from the rock. But remember when we did the Growing Sexy party? We had those. We used to do parties here in Chicago every Thursday, and it kind of grew on people because they started, and mind you, we were doing this in the struggle because this was when COVID was going on.
Oh yeah.
And shit was like, clubs were open from like 8 to like 9, or no, 8 to 12 was the latest I think we could stay open. And then you couldn't stand up unless you were buying a drink. You couldn't dance, you couldn't do it. I'm like, it didn't make sense because you motherfuckers can dance, but I can sit next to a motherfucker.
Exactly. Like they still breathing.
They're still breathing on me. Oh, you got to keep your mask on. Okay, right. Who's gonna be walking
Unless
around
you're
watching
drinking. They say you could take your mask off
to drink
and eat.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still like, okay, I'm still sitting at a table with a random ass motherfucker.
Right.
And he took his mask off to eat and drink. During that time, he
hacking
was
and
breathing.
shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
And all kind of shit's getting all on my fucking food and shit like that. But even during that time, I don't even recall like any of us coming down. I remember at that time they were giving the shots out. And when people were not like a shout out, but a shot,
Right.
the COVID shot. So when you get the vaccination, like some people were like having the side effects after the shot, but when I got mine, I didn't have a problem. So I was still coming in like when we were doing it, but like that was like one of the best times for me doing COVID because, we had something to do. And then, God rest his soul, a well-known promoter in Chicago had passed away. Prior to that, Bob, he was known for doing the parties at Fantasy before then it was known the circuit. So at that time, I was just trying to kind of carry the torch and kind of keep the things going because we, meaning the urban community, didn't really have a lot of parties or places to go to in Boys Town that played majority of our music because you have different clubs. What is it? Progress Bar, Hydrate, Sidetrack. What's another one that was up there? They played, hip hop music, but not consistently. It wasn't a hip hop party. It was just a party. So, and you know the stereotype that comes with, you know, when you have a venue or a place that plays a lot of hip hop music, you know, they automatically think and feel that, you know, the blacks are gonna fight in the club. But that wasn't the case. I mean, we had little issues, but it wasn't like that. No. Well, I haven't been in Progress in a while. Have you?
No.
When was the last time you went to Progress? Well, Reggie mentioned that Progress wasn't what it is currently. So is Progress playing a lot more hip hop music? I mean, aside from the drag shows. Okay. Demetrius said that Demetrius Davenport 727 said that Progress have its ups and downs. Yeah, I mean the times that I've gone there normally was when DJ Ecstasy, because we're me and DJ Ecstasy real close. I learned somewhat how to DJ from him. So when he was there DJing, then I would typically go to support him. And then of course with the times that Nye would perform.
Yeah, I think that we've been there. Like the times that you've been, I think I've been there with you.
Yeah.
We typically go when it's specifically for people of color.
People of color, yeah.
So,
because any other night is just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all types of music, but I do love my hip hop music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The vibe is a little different and stuff like that. Just Reggie. You said Rough and Stuff has a night now, and it becomes a majority brown crowd. That's on Tuesdays at Progress Forum. And I know because no shade. There could have been a good night consistently at Fantasy when I was doing my parties on Thursdays, but I got screwed. I got screwed like how Bret the Hitman Hart got screwed out of his title. Fucking, they were Vince McMahon and I was Bret the Hitman Hart. They fucking screwed me. Let me tell y'all what happened.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's open fucking mic, man. What the fuck? Let me tell you what happened as to why the Grown and Sexy Nights had stopped at Fantasy. So it was a dark and cloudy Thursday night. I'm just playing. So no, it was a Thursday night. I forgot what was going on, but it was a special event, and it was actually one of the nights I think that what is the club on the south side? Jeffrey Pub had been closed for a while. For a different reason. It wasn't because of that incident, that horrific vehicular homicide is that. It was before then, but something that had went on happen. I don't know what it was, but they were closed. So all the people and the kids, of course, was coming up north. And, you know, Growing the Sexy, it was a Thursday night. We was going to be open to like 2 or 3. And we were basically finishing up. The night was going good. You know, it was a nice crowd. You know, everybody was having a good time. And I, you know, called up, you know, did the last call. People started getting the drinks. I saw people starting to leave. The dancers had started to go and get ready. And then after that, the lights came on, right? I'm in a DJ booth wrapping my shit up. There's no music on. I made a few announcements like everybody start working their way to the front so that way security don't have to actually leave. So the music was off. So I was technically done. My party was over, right? Even though there were still people going in, they had security. They had like, I think 3 or maybe 4 security guards that was working tonight.
Right.
So people are leaving. As I'm wrapping up my shit, I just started hearing thumping and bumping and, you know, people yelling and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It wasn't like it was a big ass crowd. I just happened to look up and I see somebody get knocked and they got slid across the floor into the dancer boxes. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm watching and there's just 2 people fighting. So I see security run over, you know, try to grab him, breaking up. Supposedly it was this straight dude who normally stays in the front bar, you know, because Fantasy has the front and the back. So normally he stays up in the front and stuff like that. But Fantasy and my party it was diverse. It didn't matter. You could be gay or straight and come. I mean, it wasn't a set thing where you had to be, you know, have a specific type of background or what have you. It was just out to turn up. Now, I'm watching. you know, looked like a fight. I saw them have control of it. It seemed like it was cool. Then they started to move into the little walkway area to go into the front. They were still fighting and stuff like that. Because the dude got up and went after one of the other gay kids, and they got to the front, led outside, got outside and fight in the street. Police came, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I get this text message from the manager at the time, and he's just like, mind you, there was never a conversation, a talk that I needed to bring or have extra security, because first of all, zero tolerance of bullshit. Like, my parties were never like that. So I was just like, okay, what's going on? So he's just like, yeah, you know, you should have had extra security. You know, you let your people get out of control. I said, my people. What the fuck you just say?
They got some racial undertones.
Bruh. Then you said this shit to me in a text message, right? You didn't try to get to the bottom of it to try to say, hey, let's try to meet tomorrow, discuss what happened, look at the cameras. You just said you know, you let your people get out of control. My people?
Yeah, racial undertones.
All right, bro. First of all, let me tell you, if you want to point fingers at fucking, you know, race and shit, it was the Hispanic guy that started the fucking fight. Let's get that point put out there, because that's who started the fight. The Hispanic straight guy that was in the front part of the room, the bar.
So his cousin.
Yeah. Sips tea. But I was just like, I was so floored by the text, and actually stood there and looked at it for a minute. I'm like, this motherfucker just say, my people? And then one of the other managers that was working, he's like, oh, don't worry about it, bro. I said, no, bro, I'm going to worry about it. Then he followed up with another message saying, this is your last night, no more parties, you're not going to be able to have any more parties. I'm like, bro, you act like somebody just got shot up in this motherfucker. You just act like it was an overall brawl and the shit got tore up in the fucking club.
And not only that, but also you like, come on now, you act like this is the only time that a fight has broke out in that club. I can guarantee you 10 times out of 10 it's never the promoter's fault.
Bro, never. Because then again, at the same time, you can't control other people's actions, especially when people drink liquor, because the times that I have been a promoter and a DJ at that club, there have been fights that have broken out that had nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I see it, I try to point it out and be like, hey, you know, you need to get them out the club.
Exactly. And I want to point out something, because Nigel had a question.
Yeah.
I want to say that in the history of Boys Town has always predominantly been about white gays.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Then after, okay, people of color started to ease into the neighborhood, and that's when they didn't like it. And do I want to say this? Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. Okay.
Liquid courage.
I'm gonna say it. Okay.
Yeah, say it.
There are some Latin groups, okay, Latine groups who, I don't know, feel themselves to be not of color. I'll say that. And so they set themselves apart, and so they begin to, I guess, look at black people the same way as if a racist white person
would look at us. Exactly. Yeah.
And so they feel themselves superior. And it is what it is, right?
I mean, in all actuality, and I've had to point this out, like, motherfucker, you're a minority too.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But they don't think that.
No, yeah, they definitely don't think that. And I don't say this for all. I don't say this for all Hispanics or anyone in the Latino community, because I have a lot of friends that are on that mature level, and they understand that, and they even speak on it. They're like, yeah, I know a lot of these other motherfuckers walking here thinking like they shit in the tall grass, acting like they're part of that privileged white community, and you're not. You know what I'm saying? You think because you do this and do that, and again, that goes back to the whole thing. Like when you get a lot, to me, my own, I'm entitled to my opinion. You get a lot of these Hispanics that sit up and they support Trump. Trump don't want you here.
I'm glad you brought it up because I was gonna get into that.
Trump don't want you here.
He does when he's getting your vote.
When he getting your vote, yeah.
Whenever he can use you,
right? But let you be one of those people that came here after you got your vote, and kind of find out that you may have been one that gotten here illegally, but then you were, received citizenship or whatever. He's going to do whatever he can to get, maybe your family came across the border to seek asylum and they didn't get it. He's looking to push all of them back to wherever they came from, whether it be Mexico, Venezuela. He's looking to, and that's what he said he was going to do, is deport everybody that came here either illegally or through asylum seekers. And and just because we're kind of giving some kind of transparency and comparing things to how it's like you're a minority too.
I was gonna say, so first of all, okay, right.
Oh my God,
follow me. Stay with me there.
Go
right?
ahead. Okay, I'm gonna follow. I got you.
I'm like, you talking about deporting motherfuckers?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't native to this land.
If you want to be real about it,
is that your family was immigrants too?
Yeah, technically yes.
You are not native.
Yeah, let's dissect it.
Make America great again before your ass.
Your ass got here. Yeah. Let's talk about how it was then.
Exactly.
But then and we could just go all day. That goes back to the whole.
Okay, let's not do it. We're not gonna get political.
Look, just okay. I'm gonna touch on it, then we can switch back. Just the whole thing, like burning books. Why is that even a consideration or a thought? Like, and there are times there are books that have been written, movies that have been played, like the movie Equilibrium. I don't know if you ever seen that. It's a really good movie. I forgot the guy's name that played as Batman, but he stars in that movie as well as the dude from The Wood. And even then, it kind of gives you an idea how dark and gloomy this country would be, let alone this world, if that was the case. Books have come a long way. Then all of a sudden, you get a few old motherfuckers that are racist and that don't want the upcoming generation to learn. I mean, that's the whole purpose, is to educate our young people on how the world is changing.
Because you ban books that you basically banning part of history.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you get now, I know there's people who are going to be like, well, it's okay because we can still tell the story. Sure.
Your story.
I don't know if any of these motherfuckers ever played a game called Telephone. But in Telephone, at some point, the story changes. It gets distorted, right? And so that's what they want. They want, if you're going to continue your history verbally or vocally, over time, that history is going to get distorted. It's not going to be the exact history that it was, when, like, versus you reading it from a book. And that's what they want to do, eradicate your history.
Right. And prevent you from learning the truth. As far as, because everything is recorded, right? And you figured the reason why things are done the way that they are, again, like I said, is to be able to put forth something for the generation that our kids, our grandkids, nieces, and nephews that's coming up, that are not able to see what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, but they can go back and read about it. Oh, COVID happened. Oh, this was the president that was in office when this happened. You look at the contrast between when Obama was in office and there was and that wasn't even a fucking pandemic. There was just a disease that was out and it got taken care of before it spread. Donald Trump gets in office, fucking disease comes out and it kills billions of people. So that is something that people can learn about, because I didn't even, for example, 1941, there was a pandemic back then, which a lot of us didn't know about.
Let me tell you something. Trump ain't gonna claim that shit. He gonna like, when I was in office, everyone was paid.
Got to do the hands.
Everyone was paid.
I got checks for everybody.
Exactly. Fake news.
And then the motherfucker want to talk around, put my names on the bottom of the check.
And
say that I gave it to the people. No, y'all. Those were y'all checks that came from the taxpayer dollar. So it was kind of like a refund that you were getting to help you get through what was going on.
That's why y'all motherfuckers ain't getting no tax returns now.
And and in my opinion, a lot of these motherfuckers like, oh, Trump just got us a check. No, that's not how that worked. And even then, and I'm gonna touch a little bit more on this whole politics thing before we dip out, folks. We know that voting time and voting season has already started, and I think a lot of people have not really paid attention to how government works. The president can't do everything. He or she can't control everything.
Fake news.
Okay. I'm not fucking with you. You can't do everything. So, and I know a lot of people don't like getting into the news and watching the fake news. But if you pay attention to how the three branches of the government works, especially when it comes to the legislative and the executive, and I'm sure y'all been following, certain things can't go into law and happen until the House and the Senate agree on it, right? And then the president has to sign off on it. There's some certain executive actions that the president can do, and some executive actions he can take that are limited. But in order to become into law, he still has to get the legislative branch to do it, because that's their job to create laws, and then the president signs off on it. So when you vote, keep in mind that the people that you're putting in the House, people that you're putting in the Senate, like that crazy ass bitch, what's her fucking name? Majority Lee. She's the blonde haired crazy bitch. Her last name is Green. I know that fucking shit for sure.
75% of Congress.
She gets on my fucking nerves, and I was so disappointed in Georgia when they fucking got her ass voted in. But she was voted in by a bunch of course, majority Republicans and shit like that in an area that wanted her. So nonetheless, Major League Green. I guess that was her name. I don't give a fuck. Not important to remember, but just keep in mind when you get out there vote. I know some of you don't want to do it, and a lot of y'all have perspectives of Joe Biden, what he has or hasn't done. People did that when Biden was in office. Not Biden, Obama. Oh, he's a black president. He do this.
They don't understand that shit has to be approved, and then you have, like you said, there's multiple bodies that govern the United States, and so usually, here's the thing: when you have the House of Representatives, which is majority Republican, while a Democrat is serving as president,
right?
They're not going to get the shit done that they can't. That they're trying to get done, because it's going to be stopped.
Exactly.
Right? It's going to be vetoed.
Exactly.
And so you motherfuckers took social studies, goddamn.
Figure this shit out. Stop playing. Exactly. And then you got to take into consideration too, the state that you live in has a government. They have a House representative. They have a Senate. They have a governor who is kind of like the president of the state. So anything that you're being affected by, if it's not a federal thing, it's good. It's for the local government to handle this. Like you have presidents, governors, mayors.
You know what I find crazy?
What's up?
The state of Georgia. I find the state of Georgia crazy. And I'm gonna tell you why. Right? There's a lot of black people. There's a lot of LGBTQ people in Georgia. As a matter of fact, Atlanta is known as gay capital.
Exactly.
But it's a weird state.
Yeah. Well, they did it blue this past election, but the governor is a Republican, which confuses me. I don't. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I do not understand. Maybe somebody in Georgia can help me, because you all helped Biden get into office, but y'all have a Republican governor.
You know probably what.
And the majority, and I think the Senate is like majority like that. They have a the damn Secretary of State. But you do have some pretty decent. I know the people are gonna be like, woo. Some decent Republicans in Georgia who are like fair. I mean, they have their views, and it's meant to be like that. It's not all supposed to be the same, but you just have some racist Republicans and you have some decent Republicans. But yeah, I never understood that about Georgia. Georgia is a very confused state. Missouri sucks. state I'm from, that's always been a Republican state.
People need to get their ass out and get involved. Listen, y'all. I understand politics is boring as fuck. I get it.
Yeah.
But we are never going to get to where we need to be until y'all motherfuckers start getting out and fucking voting.
Vote.
Pay the fuck attention to what is on the ballots.
Yeah.
Look at these press conferences. Watch your politicians. Look at what they're talking about. And don't even just look at what they're talking about, but actually do your research and look at their history.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because the motherfucker can say, hey, I'm for LGBTQ rights, but then you look at their track record and the track record shows you the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So pay attention. Get out and vote and get involved in politics. Let me tell you something. There's a bunch of old motherfucking farts in office
that need to be removed.
Exactly. There's a lot of motherfuckers. Come on now. It's too many people out here that can do some good. All right. And even if you yourself run for fucking office.
Right. Because you can learn. There's no specific there's no set qualifications to run for Senate or Congress, whether it be for a state Congress seat or for a U.S. Congress seat. You don't have to meet any special requirements. You don't have to be a fucking PhD graduate. You don't even have to fucking have a college degree. I mean, you should have something like a GED or something because you want people to take you seriously and the reason why they should vote for you. But if you're not doing nothing else, you're complaining, then you can go out and change. I can sit up and say, yes, I sit up and fuss and complain about something, but I did try to run for president. People took it as bullshit, but I was dead serious, you know what I'm saying? Which is why my name was listed,
I can't run for office. I cuss too much. They gonna be I'm gonna be what's that guy there? I forgot his name. I'm gonna be
the most recent one, the senator,
the black guy. Yeah.
What's
his name? I'm gonna be in that. You want to talk business or some other shit?
The dude from
You motherfuckers are out of order. I'm not out of order. You are out of order, bitch.
I know what you're talking about now. Jamal said, I think the only requirement is residency in whichever state. Exactly. And then that's like, if I wanted to run for a U.S. Congress seat, then I would do it as a representative for Illinois, but I think we have a couple of Democrats that are in Congress and in the U.S. Congress, and that would, I don't mind reaching high. People say, oh, why didn't you try to run for alderman or Congress or mayor? I'm like, I don't know. I just decided to start at the top. So next thing I might do is decide to run for fucking governor. So
we'll work ourselves.
Work my way down. I don't start. I want to jump into a quick example of what you were talking about, Dante, when it comes to like when people need to get out here to vote and why. Around February 7th, there was an article on xbiz.com, which is basically news for the industry. And when I say industry, like the adult film industry, there's this Oklahoma Republican seeks to criminalize watching adult content. So this motherfucker wants to make it illegal to watch porn.
I'm going to jail.
This article was put out by Gustavo Turner. This was on February 7th. I'm going to just read y'all a little bit. It says, in Oklahoma City, Republican state lawmaker Dusty Devers is using a national press tour to promote a bill he proposed that would completely outlaw adult content in Oklahoma and make it a crime for anyone in the state to view it. It says on Monday of that week, he appeared on a YouTube show and a podcast hosted by Daily Wire's Michael Knowles to promote Senate Bill 1976, which he describes as part of his, quote, spiritual warfare, unquote, against adult content. He said that every person looking at porn knows that it's condemning them. They're created by God, and their coincidence is either approving them or accusing them before the holy character of God. So they already know. First of all,
I wonder what porn he caught his wife tickling her pickle to. I just want to know, which one was it?
Man, look, that goes into the whole thing. I mean, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm not 100% sure of the separating fucking church and state. That goes to another thing of like control. You want to sit up and control what people watch and what they do in their personal lives. Me watching or doing or filming porn does not fucking affect anything that's going on in the world. Me eating ass or sucking dick is not causing the fucking war in Ukraine.
Let me tell you something.
I'm just saying.
These cisgender, heterosexual, white men want to control everything but where they putting their dicks.
Here's what he said. Check out what else he said. He said, what you're doing in your bedroom, what you're doing in private is affecting my children. It's affecting my friends. It's affecting everybody, he declared. What the fuck is your children, apparently you're not that great of a parent, doing watching fucking porn? And how is it that what we're doing... but see, here's
I was a child watching porn.
But that's something that...
In high school.
Yeah, I mean, I did it.
I was 15.
I did it too, but I found a way to get access to it. Because your parents can sit up and tell you no. And I'm going to tell you, this is one thing I told my cousin, and I told about her kids, because we had gotten to a little back and forth, and she was just like, which why I don't fuck with her now. This is back when I was living at ATL. She was just like, well, you know, I don't want the girls to be affected or tainted by your friends to come to keep. I said, what are you talking about? I said, you act like I bring, and not that it's a problem because I don't discriminate with the type of friends I have, but you act like I'm bringing some straight up femme queens and, you know, flaunting, you know, boisterous boy girls around your kids, let alone the people that I did bring around wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. They were just regular average people. So when we saw that, I was just like, first of all, I said, I'm gonna explain something to you because I don't want to go back and forth with y'all. Because they were very protective of their kids. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? I would be protective of my kids too. But to certain things, I know my limits. You're not going to be able to stop them from seeing everything. You can't protect them from everything because what you try to control and keep them from seeing at home or don't talk to them about, somebody's doing it at the school. You don't want your daughter, if you don't have the conversation with them about, you know, boys and dealing with boys, then they're not going to know how to do it. You can't. And then you taking they were young fucking cheerleaders for the fucking Atlanta Falcons. They had a junior cheerleader thing. So your daughters are going to football games.
And I want to add too, America has this innate belief that children or people sexuality is influenced by their surroundings. Here's the thing. If that's who a person is, that's who they is. Right. Because if that's the case, then everybody who's gay or lesbian, however you choose to identify, queer, pansexual, whatever. If that's the case, why ain't we all doing exactly what we were taught to do? Because if anything, I'm just saying, if my parents, right, my father and my mother are male and female, right, heterosexual, cisgender, male and female, and if I saw them engaging or saw my parents engaging with the opposite sexes throughout my childhood, where the fuck did I get the idea to like men?
But look, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you my theory, and I've always said this, and you might have heard me say before. When we're born, right, and this is my theory, y'all. When we're born, it's a blank slate. You don't know shit. You don't know nothing. You don't know up from down. You don't know the sky is blue. You don't know none of this shit until it's told to you. Hey, Dante, the sky is blue. Remember that.
Okay.
All right.
You said purple?
Blue, motherfucker.
Okay.
Blue. Don't change it. There's no other color to call it, but that's what it is. And the grass is green.
It's
and
not red.
The earth is round. It's not flat. See, these are things that we're told. You know what I'm saying? So we stick with that, right? So, but some of us, that part of us that makes us human, that resists that teaching, to what I call it forceful learning. You know what I'm saying? You don't just teach them the basic things and just let them live their life and make decisions on their own and what they feel. You jump in, you add a little bit of poison to it. Boys are supposed to like girls, and girls are supposed to like boys. Boys liking boys is wrong. That is bad. That's the devil. You're going to go to hell. You're going to burn in fire and brimstone. Oh my God. Are you serious? I don't want to do
AIDS and die.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to fuck around with a guy. If I put a penis inside a guy's mouth, I'm going to go to hell. But those of us that come out that exist in the LGBTQ plus community are those that are basically like with the rebellious ones. You know what I'm saying? We acted on a sense of just freedom. Like this, I get the programming. Okay, we all seen the Matrix, right? I get the programming,
but I'm
gonna reject it.
On the contrary, mon frere,
Mm-hmm.
I was not the rebellious type. I had a bit of rebellion in me, but I was not the rebellious type.
So you accepted the teachings of being.
You know what? At a very young age, I had a very hyperactive imagination, and so I'm gonna let y'all in on a little bit of my crazy ass mind. Okay,
let it
at
out.
a very young age, I grew up in the church. As a matter of fact, I grew up in the church, and
I didn't grow up in a church, but I went to church.
Oh, I grew up in the church.
So you're like a pastor's child and shit?
Actually, my stepfather was a reverend.
What?
My great uncles, cousins.
Were you screwing the choir members and shit?
No, I didn't at the time.
You ever notice a lot of people in the choir were gay too? But go ahead, I'm sorry.
But yeah, exactly. But so I grew up in the church. When I say I grew up in the church, I mean like I was there on Sunday, I was there on Saturday, I was there on Wednesday.
So you doing Bible study, Sunday school, choir
rehearsals, youth choir rehearsals, church, you name it. And my family was very heavily in the church, and so I, at a young age, had a battle against sexuality, not necessarily about sexual identity, but with my sexuality. When I tell you, I used to, as a young boy, used to just fucking images of titties popping up in my head.
Really?
I don't know why. I was very obsessed with titties as a kid. And so, I just breasts for the people who are uncomfortable with the word titty. Breasts would pop up in my head.
Really?
And
so you would just visualize seeing titties all the time?
Just pop up in my head. It was real random. And then at some point, I don't know where I got the magazine from. I don't know. No, hold on. It's not one of those magazines.
Okay.
It was a lingerie magazine. As a young boy, I don't know whose magazine it was. Probably my mother's. And I found, and I stole it, or I took it.
You stole it.
It was a lingerie magazine.
You took that shit.
And when I tell you, we used to just flip through them pages, and I was so fascinated with the amount of skin and beautiful, sexy women that was in that magazine. And it wasn't until actually, now that I think about it,
now your ass think about it.
maybe a little after that, I might have found attraction to men, but I was confused by it. I was, because like many people, I was so, boys are supposed to like girls and girls are supposed to like boys, but don't touch that. Stop looking at that.
Right.
Cover your eyes.
So did you you experienced that too? Is that something that
it was very
your parents
confusing.
would tell you? Okay.
Yeah, because as a young boy, y'all don't like boys. You should like girls. But when I'm attracted to girls, I got to cover my ass when I see titties.
Really?
So I was confused. I got a little confused. But like I said, I wasn't the rebellious, because for the longest, it wasn't until high school that I had my first interaction with another male. As a matter of fact, when I was younger, I was approached by a boy in the bathroom. I was in grade school. Okay, we both were around the same age. But
you went to the little stall.
No, he tried to get me to go to the stall.
Follow me, friend.
Yeah, he was like, "You want to be gay?" And I was like.
What?
Literally, just like that.
Not an invite.
You know, back in elementary school, you had to go to the bathroom in the buddy system.
Right.
So,
right.
you know, you can go back to the bathroom by yourself in case, I don't know, some, what's his name? Jeffrey Dahmer. It just appeared in the school and was in the bathroom waiting on you. So you couldn't go to the bathroom by yourself. You had to go to the buddy system. So this particular time, I still remember the boy's name. I still, you know, I went to the bathroom and, you know, the boy, you know, he had my buddy in the bathroom. That motherfucker said, "You want to be gay?" you know, blanket from South Park. "You want to get high?" That's what's him. "You want to be gay?"
A blanket.
When I tell you, I ain't never zipped up my pants so goddamn fast. I think I snipped a little bit of my dick. I didn't
get the fuck up out of there, bro.
I didn't wash my hands or nothing. I ran the fuck about that bathroom. Fuck the buddy sister.
That's crazy because even you saying that kind of makes me think back when I was in elementary school and the shit that I saw and experienced with these white kids. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I remember we were doing like some type of puppet show with the paper mache and a little paper bag and shit like that. And there was like only 4 chairs that we were sitting behind this thing. And he's like, "You can sit on my lap." I'm like, "Sit on your lap? What the fuck I want to sit on your lap for?"
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm going to just..." No, he don't say get on my knees because then he's probably going to think of something else. But this little motherfucker would always follow me to the bathroom, bro. Go into the stall, his little fucking white face pop up at the bottom of the fuck. I'm like, "What are you doing?" Because even then, like, I didn't feel comfortable using the stand-up urinals because, you know, it was always thinking motherfuckers looking over. I'm like, oh, and nowadays, you know, motherfuckers popping up phones and shit, taking a damn piss. But I mean, with me, I can think back even looking through fucking department store catalogs and you seeing the lingerie in the section, the women's section, then you get to the men's section, you see the dudes in the underwear. So I'm like, this is weird. Like looking at it, it was just like,
right. Because had 7-year-old me, felt how old I was, I don't know. Because 10-year-old, I'll say 10. Had 10-year-old me found that, because they didn't have that back then. I used to look for when
magazines.
When I first came to terms,
the catalogs with the JCPenney books with the big ass, thick ass books.
When I was 10 and 11, that wasn't out. They didn't have that. They didn't have it.
Wow. And it was so, but even then, it was still, I don't think, and it's not to, you know, because I know it's unfortunate. A lot of people were, I'm going to say forced to go to because of maybe, you know, dealing with sexual abuse, and they were kind of pushed into that versus somewhere the curiosity was there. And then for me, you know, the curiosity was there, wondered, and then with the combination of the sexual abuse kind of pushed it even further. You know what I'm saying? But I would never sit up and say that that's what caused me to be, you know what I'm saying, bisexual into men. It played a role, you know what I'm saying? It's just that person took advantage of me of that other case and pushed it forward. So, and it was just, I don't know, it was just weird. And even looking back on that now, it's just like these parents that are coming up, or these people that get into find a way to blame the things that's going on in society, like when it comes to pornography. Bitch, you watched it. Now you want to be the one to sit and be like, oh, well, no, I don't want my kids doing it. And even though you may try to do what you can to prevent them to do it, like it's all on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, your child or adolescent is going to find a way. They always find. I did. You find a way to get access to it. You can't stop me.
Exactly.
Because if I want to see it, I'm gonna find a way to see it. That's just how I looked at it.
Exactly. And I wanna kind of, you know, turn it back a little bit just to kind of tie that in. A lot of people assume that, especially when they start to discover that you know, as a young child or whatever, are gay, they want to assume, or even now, you know, they want to assume that there was some kind of abuse. Mm-hmm. I was never abused.
Right.
So what's your reason for the reason that I suck dick?
Aha, so you do like sucking dick.
I ain't say that. It was a metaphor.
Every time you bring it up, I'm going to talk about it.
It was a metaphor.
Do you suck dicks?
Yeah, huh?
Bullshit. I bet you can suck a golf ball
Yuri.
through.
Hi, Hero Yuri.
What's up, Yuri? Bet you can suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Oh, no.
That's some heavy duty.
I am not that skilled.
That's some heavy duty sucking.
Okay.
You suck dick like that, motherfuckers that's uncut. You just circumcise them with your mouth.
Listen.
What's this? It? Oh, yeah. So, Gibraltar, don't forget school curriculum is to blame, too.
To blame for what?
Oh, yeah. You're talking about when it comes to, like, homosexuality or sex education. Because at some point they were teaching about.
I never
were
learned
they?
about gay people.
I didn't learn about homosexuality in school. I just learned about sex education was a requirement.
You know what's crazy? My first conversation that I ever had, like out in the open, in public, like going on about anything to do with gay or whatever, was from my father.
But here's a good question, and y'all can chime in on this too. Do you think that any parent that's raising their child should have a discussion, as they do with everything else, drugs, guns, about the LGBT community, or letting their child know that they can be comfortable within themselves, versus putting up this barrier, this wall, and being like, you're only supposed to like girls, versus saying, and sometimes we have, other feelings for, let's say the same, maybe there's a special friend that you have and he's a boy as well and you like him, and that's okay.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
So you're saying that shouldn't happen?
No, I think that parents should definitely have a conversation with their children and have an open line of communication with their children, but I don't think that they should bring that up. And the reason why I say that is because don't bring up sexuality at all with your children.
Right. No,
let them know that it's okay to talk about.
That's what I want to say, is that because you get people that'll if that conversation is not had, right, and then they're influenced by other people around them, then they're sort of go, oh, that's that fag, and then that child automatically thinks like, oh shit, I'm like that, so if I say anything, I'm gonna be called a fag. It's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how do you think the parent should approach that conversation or have that conversation with a child?
First of all, I think parents need to be unbiased. Okay. I think that parents need to be human, okay, and have an open dialogue with the children and allow the children, and I'm not saying that, parents go and take a counseling course, but learn not to create trauma. And I think that's the thing, is that parents need to learn how to be trauma informed. And sure, not everybody's going to have the opportunity to take a trauma informed course,
right,
but learn about trauma and learn how not to inflict trauma in your child's life. Because here's the thing, when you're talking about sexuality and you're not too open or familiar about sexuality, and you're very biased on certain things when it comes to sexuality, or you might even be biased about the topic of sex in general. When you begin to talk on the subject that you are not comfortable with having, you inflict trauma.
Right.
Especially on a young child who is developing and trying to figure out their sexual identity.
Especially in this day and age.
Exactly. And fuck everybody.
Damn.
Hold on, let me finish.
He's like, oh, and by the way, fuck everybody. Was it more to that?
Yeah, it's more to that.
Hold on, y'all. For y'all start canceling his ass. He said there's more to it. Okay,
fuck everybody who thinks that because these tiny human beings are children, y'all think like, oh, they don't have sexuality, they're young, they're children. Fuck y'all. Listen. Because you have to really, and I only say this because I was a young child who was going through phases of my sexuality. And because I was such a young child, what I went through, it was completely ignored. And I didn't have an adult, a trusted adult that I can go to and talk about the thoughts that I had running through my mind,
right,
or the images that would pop in my head.
And as a child, I'm sorry to cut you off. The child, as a child, the person that you look to is your parents.
Yeah.
That you would think that those would be the people you can go to.
Exactly. Or I would just want to say a trusted adult, because sometimes it's not the parents.
It's
sometimes
not,
it's an uncle, it's an auntie, it's a grandma. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a trusted adult in my life that I can discuss these things with.
But see, that's my push though, man. Like I true, if you can find a trusted adult, that's good, because you do need somebody to talk to. But I've always harped on, it should always be your parents. It should always be the person or the people that took part in giving birth to you and raising you, because they should be part of your life and in the choice. Because I don't know if you remember. I remember when I came out, to my mom, God rest her soul, is that, and I'm sure some of us have been down that road when I told her, it's like, hey, mom, bisexual. She's like, okay. You're my firstborn. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to treat you any different. I appreciate you telling me. And sometimes mothers know. It may not be nothing you doing. You may not be a flamboyant person. You could be the hardest, coreest motherfucker. You could be harder than a fucking Marine. But sometimes an understanding parent will know. They're just waiting for you to say something.
You know what? I never had to come out. I had a bunch of nosy.
You still in the closet?
No.
Hello, Dante. You gonna come out of that closet?
No, I had a bunch of nosy adults in my life, which I'm glad, actually. I think that at the time, I was living with my dad and my stepmom, and my stepmom was nosy, and so she discovered, my journal, and so she had a conversation with my dad about what she found, and so first of all, let me tell you something. Trauma. Listen, this is why I wish the parents were more trauma informed, because guess what? Her reading my journal caused me not to write anymore.
Really?
Is that because I was so traumatized? I didn't want to put
she
my
was
thoughts
snooping around into
exactly.
it. Yeah.
So, and that's why I keep saying I wish parents were more trauma informed, because, and don't think that, okay. So if I discover that my child is gay and I call him out on it, it's going to cause him trauma, so then he's not going to be gay. That's not the case.
Right.
He's just going to hide shit from you.
Right. He's not going to want to have a conversation with you about anything. Or she. And some of those most important moments in life, to him or her, you will not be part of, because they don't feel that they can entrust to have that kind of conversation with you, or that you're going to look at them differently.
Or they or them.
He or she. Yeah, later. Here we go. I feel Naya's spirit.
I gotta keep it up. But and so because my stepmother was nosy, she told my dad. But oh my God, let me just say something. Oh my God, man, I love my dad. I love the fuck out of my dad. Let me tell you something. Now, I'm not comparing him to nobody else's father, because I only have one experience, which is my experience.
Right.
And I just want to say, if my dad is listening to this shit, man, you fucking rock. Let me tell you something.
That's what's up, though, man.
My father has always been supportive, and it was actually surprising. It was actually very surprising, because I think I spent most of my adolescence with my mother. Both my parents were young when I was born. Both teenagers when I was born.
Same here.
Yeah, so
14, 13,
exactly.
14 and 17,
Exactly. So no, my parents were not wedded, but and my mom had a very hard time with accepting my sexuality or my sexual identity at the time. I'll tell y'all later why I say it like that. But yeah, my mom had a hard time accepting my sexual identity, but my dad was very supportive. He didn't say, "Oh, you this way, and I know it, and I accept you." It was just like, "Hey, if you feel this way, if you feel that's how you are, you're my son, and I love you no matter what."
Right.
I love the fuck out that man.
Which is how it should, because that's the same thing, like I told you, that my mom had said, and that's, if we could take a carbon copy of our parents that have that perspective and print that type of mentality on about 70% of the people, because we already know that some people are going to be resistance of that type of perspective. This world and being part of the LGBTQI plus community, what LGBTQI,
There you go.
That's what I'm gonna refer to from now on, y'all. Liberté quoi. It would be so much more understanding. The struggle wouldn't be so hard. You know, people would understand a little bit more. And I think that both you and I and anybody else that have parents or family members that are understanding as ours was, are fortunate to have been able to have people in our lives that are like that. Because I've had conversations with young people, because there are people that look up to me, they come to me for advice and stuff, that has had conversations about not being accepted by their family, about thoughts of committing suicide because they feel they didn't fit in or because the family wouldn't accept them. You know what I'm saying? Long conversations. And it's just like, you know, like, wow, like this is, and I remember even exactly what year that was, but there was a spike in teen suicide from those that were coming out to the parent thinking that they could, but then once they didn't, find out that either the parents would disown them or shun them or tell them they're going to go to hell. It's just like, wow, like what the fuck. But I wish there was a way that could be done. Y'all cloning other shit. Y'all need to be cloning shit. People like the people that we know and that we fucking run into. Demetrius said having to hide stuff from your family at a young age is truly sad. Yeah. I mean, I've been on social media and I see so much shit, even with like the even younger, right? Or the way that they do things, the dancing. I don't know if you've seen like little video clips instead of like little 6-7-year-old, you know, kids that are just it's not even acting out, it's just being themselves. You know what I'm saying? You know, voguing, or because of what they see on social media. You give your kid a tablet or iPad and they're watching this stuff. Even and now it's getting to the point where you can't really hide it, because in a lot of the movies, Disney movies, Pixar movies, there's gay people in these movies. There's gay characters. There's gay superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a DC or Marvel universe. Even in fucking, you know, anime, they definitely don't give a fuck. They don't hide shit. You know, rest in peace to Akira Toriyama, you know, the creator of Dragon Ball Z, passed away on March 1st. So rest in peace to him. Big shout out. But yeah, I was a big fan. But even in anime, they don't hide that shit. But you let your kids watch it. You know what I'm saying? And you think they're sitting up asking those questions like, why is he acting like that? You know, because you get the one, you know,
Kamehameha!
like what's his name? Fucking Dodoria is very feminine. You know, not Dodoria. Zarbon on Dragon Ball Z, the dude, the purple blue dude with the green hair. You gotta watch. He's very feminine. Then I was watching a fucking show. I can't even fucking remember that damn show. But he was very feminine. But it's just one of those things. It's like I was saying, you can't stop what your children see. Mm-hmm. You can't monitor it all the time. But again, if we were able to just kind of have our mothers and fathers that understood what we were going through, that it wasn't just a phase, that was just we were being ourselves, and kind of take that teaching and put on everybody else and be like, you need to be more open with your kids.
Right. And I want to backtrack a little bit because we kind of glazed over. We're not glazed over.
I'm always glazing over.
You're nice. But I do want to take a second just to kind of disclose a little bit, I guess, because you did mention it, and so I want to talk about it for a little bit on my own experience. I was one of those LGBTQ youth who attempted suicide.
Really?
I attempted twice.
Was it because of the coming out of the family, or?
I grew up in the church.
Okay.
And so I dealt with a lot of trauma from that. So when I came to terms with who I was, I wasn't accepting of it. I didn't want it. And I thought it would be better for me to just end my life. And so I attempted that. But both attempts, I just couldn't go through with it. Mm-hmm. But I got down to right before.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't want
because
to
of what the lack of acceptance that you thought.
Yeah,
or
just
was it
because
just
this is what I was taught, that it was wrong.
was wrong? Okay, yeah.
And at some point, and as a matter of fact, this was
Trauma.
my freshman year in high school. Freshman year in high school. And as a matter of fact, 8th grade year, or right after 8th grade year, going into 9th grade year, so during the summer, I had to, I forced myself to have sex with a girl.
Wow.
To make sure that what I was thinking and experiencing and feeling was not absolutely true. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have slight attractions to female,
right.
sexual, physical, you know what I'm saying? But most of my attraction is with males. But yeah, I forced myself though during that time, and just to figure this out, right? But and this is why I talk about my dad so much, because he doesn't even know. I never even had this conversation with him, and letting him know, like, just hearing those words from him
made a big difference.
It made a huge fucking difference.
That's what's
a huge fucking difference.
Which is why I said that there needs to be more people out there like your father.
It definitely does, because like no matter, like, you can establish a million fucking hotlines, a million fucking organizations. Children are looking for acceptance from the people who they hold most dear to.
Most dear to them,
and it might not, your parents might not always be there.
It could be an uncle, it could be a very close friend, a neighbor.
Somebody who's raising them.
Yeah.
Adopted
grandmother.
Father, foster father, foster
anybody.
mother, whatever. Exactly. And, you know, so people become trauma informed, all right? Figure out a way to become trauma informed, because when you are trauma informed, you learn how not to inflict trauma on children, and you learn how not to inflict trauma on people in general. But for anybody out there who's listening, I just want to...
I was going to ask you, do you have a number?
Absolutely.
Great.
You can dial 988 from your mobile phone. 3 numbers. 988 is the helpline for suicide. It's the Suicide in Crisis helpline. 988 from your phone. You can also text that number 988, and you will get a trained and qualified individual to help you. For anybody who's listening who might feel they need those services, or you can just pass that information on to someone who may need it. Right,
because one thing that we do amongst all things that we talk about is, like, we never proclaim ourselves to be doctors or legal professionals, but sometimes through self-experience and things that we've gone through personally can be helpful to somebody. So I'm glad that Dante was able to put that information out there for you guys, so that way you can get the proper legal help from a professional that can help you get through anything that you might be struggling with. So that's deep, man. That's what's up, though. I'm glad, and it's good to know that your dad was around there when you needed him, and to be able to sit up and get that big ass shout out like that. Pops may need to start tuning in.
No, that's okay. Dad, if you listen, stop listening right now.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
I'm gonna say some dirty shit. You know what? He probably said, I say worse than you, motherfucker.
Yeah, you don't want to never challenge your parents about shit. They're like, no, I've been down that road.
You know what's crazy? Because my dad is like the fucking epitome of masculine. Like, of a masculine man. He is the epitome. When I tell you, I love my dad, but I'm gonna tell you that that man is an asshole. He served in the military. First of all, he's a Sagittarius.
Not an asshole.
He is. My dad, I'm telling you, my dad, don't fuck with that man. He could be an asshole. But to the people in his inner circle, he is a very loving man. He's a very loving man. He's a very giving man. And that's what he's the epitome of what a masculinity is supposed to be. I've never seen him be misogynistic or degrading to a woman or any person for that matter. I've never heard him call somebody out their name. I've never heard him curse anybody out.
Really?
But he is an asshole. Don't get me wrong. But he is, like I said, the epitome to me for what masculinity is supposed to look like. And he's been very accepting and very supportive of me through all of my different phases in my life.
Phases?
Yes. And so, and that's why I love the man, because let me tell you, I can't even express really like how much I love my father. But and I only said it because of what I went through and the route that I could have taken,
right,
and where I could have been.
But because he was there.
Because exactly. So, and he wasn't always there. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
My father wasn't always in my life, but when he was, he showed the fuck up and he showed the fuck out.
That's what's up, man. I mean, and you know, and I think too, a lot of people will look down on that and be like, you know, because a lot of people wouldn't admit to that, because my father wasn't there all the time either, but he was there when I needed him to be there. And I never held that against him. My father was in the military. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Oh, yours too? What branch?
Yeah, Army.
Oh, mine's Air Force.
Yeah. My dad was Army.
That's why we here.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you know, he was and it was so funny too. It was a little short thing. When I was in the police academy, one of my classmates, my dad was his drill sergeant.
Oh,
yeah, because when he saw my name tag, he was like, "Your dad got the same name as you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Little short motherfucker." I'm like, "Yeah." It was like, that's my drill sergeant. right. That's what he thought. That's my drill sergeant, man. I tell you, man, he cool as fuck. I'm like, yeah, that's my pops. But no, absolutely, man. I mean, I think that even just hearing that you know you have that much love and respect and appreciation for your father and being there for you. So that's what's up. Like, again, you need to copy that and paste. Copy and paste that shit on people. What I want to do real quick before we jump off with y'all, I do have some upcoming topics that I think we're going to be touching on over the next few weeks. That's probably going to take us right into the end of season 4. And if y'all got some ideas that you want us to talk about, just inbox us. You can inbox me, you can inbox Dante. But some of the upcoming topics that we're looking at is gays in the church, which is to retake, because I've done an episode on that. Privacy during relationships, social media and your phones, friends versus best friends, exes, existing friendships, or it's not happening. Meaning, like, if you have an ex, if y'all still cool, right? Because some people, when your relationships, you having your ex as a friend is just a no-go for some people, but we can talk about it. Control, it's all about control. Mental illness, the excuse and the actuality. Rejection, being able to understand and move beyond it. Sexual positions, what makes a top a bottom or what doesn't. I know Dante's looking forward to that one. So those are some of the upcoming topics that we have here on Rock.
I am not.
Yeah.
And I can fuck that whole episode up right now.
I can imagine.
With one sentence.
I bet you could, because you tried to in the last episode.
Listen. You know what? Make that it, and I'm gonna shut the whole episode down.
Okay, Dante was like, yeah, you need to do an episode on that. Oh, okay, we can do that, because I want. And that was so funny because I was looking at the topic today. I was curious as to what Dante wants to talk about. But yeah, Demetrius, if you have any ideas, definitely shoot them our way. And if you are in Chicago and you have some things that you like to be part of the show, hit us up. Maybe you can kind of join us, like kind of like an on quote unquote set type thing, and be in our home studio with us and actually be on the show live with us when we broadcast. Of course, we'll have to do a background check and get you scanned for weapons and shit like that.
You get pat down at the door,
nigga. Spread your arms apart. Have you coming up in the crib, you know, with weapons and shit, you know, motherfuckers find out where you live. But yeah, if you definitely got any ideas or suggestions that you like to
don't even worry about it. I'm gonna pick y'all up. You're gonna be blindfolded with a bag over your head. Trust me, I ain't gonna let you bump into the door. I'm gonna walk you in.
Yeah, take it off when they come and sit down.
Exactly.
And then when they get done, just knock them out with some little salt. You know, it's like, here, put the little cloth over you. Breathe deeply.
When you wake up, you're gonna be back at home.
You are terrible. I saw that in Batman once. Well, I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in today with me and Mr. Dante Harris. Of course, we miss Miss Monet. She wasn't able to join us again because she's out in a bunch of meetings, so she wasn't able to take part in today's episode. Thank everybody for joining in on Instagram Live, and be sure to go back and check out some of the other episodes that you missed. You can check us out on YouTube. When you do, make sure you click that subscribe button, right? So that way, for those of you that like to get on YouTube a lot, you don't feel like jumping on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, boom, just open up a separate window, click on Rockefeller's Radio, boom, listen to us that way. Definitely want you to subscribe. You know, click, as they say every time I be watching YouTube video, click the subscribe. You know, don't be doing no thumbs down.
Click, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to share.
Don't forget to share. Definitely don't forget to share. No real big special word today. You know, I just want to say this. Be who you are. Don't be someone else or somebody else. Be who you are and be happy with it. I appreciate those again for tuning in. We love y'all. Appreciate the continued love and support. Oh, and for those of you who can't see us, we're giving you the deuces. Peace.